So today's topic is something which is, I think I've spoken about it a couple of times, but it is so powerful. And, if we start doing these little things, I can guarantee you there is going to be some change in your life for sure. And today you're going to understand why. It's not something that you just start doing and, with an expectation. It's something that you do over time. If I can go back with my own story, I think by now I would have filled up books and books of, whatever I've journaled from the time I was in high school to college. And, a couple of months ago, someone actually found an old book that I had written in. And it's unbelievable how everything that you've written in, most of it has come true. And the stuff that you've written and truly desired maybe 5-6 years ago, if it's not come true, you actually see and you immediately feel that you're happy in a way that hasn't really come true because something else was in store for you, something better. So life is such that, knows what, is good for us. We all think we know what we need and what we want. And when we get it, we're happy for a while. And after that, we keep wanting and wanting more and more and more. So, sometimes the things that we haven't got that we really, truly wanted is usually for the best. And some of the things that we've lost is also usually for the best. I'm not talking about the loss of loved ones and death, so let's stay on point about that. I'm talking about it, sometimes we truly desire that we get a particular promotion. And I know so many people who get the promotion and quit the job in 3 months because they cannot handle that new role. They can't handle politics at the new level and, all of those things. And they go out to get a better job with a better salary and a better position. So I think why I want to talk about journaling today, because it's not just about gratitude. There are several different things that you can write about. And we live today in a world where constantly our minds are thinking. We don't have time. We don't have me time. Even in our me time, if you can sit down with a cup of coffee, you can't really focus on one thing because your mind, is constantly producing more and more thoughts. Like they say, 60 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. So a lot of people say, I want to practice gratitude, and they practice it in their mind. But when I tell them practice it, write it into a journal, they say, Luke, why is the experience so different? It's very, very simple, because what you do in your mind is very different from what you write down. When you're practicing gratitude, there are going to be other thoughts that come up in your mind, distractions. But when you're writing it down, those distractions don't really come in the way of what you're writing down onto a piece of paper. So whether you're a student out there and you start journaling today, whether you're a child, even children the age of 6, 7 who can start writing, get them into the practice of journaling, because it is nothing but emptying your heart, your mind, your imagination, whatever's in there on paper. There's a whole connection between you, the pen, and the book when you do that. That's why a lot of people like to do it. A lot of people look at it already as a waste of time. Okay, and that's their perception. That's absolutely fine. Everyone's different. Everyone has different ways of living their life. So before we start talking about how to journal and how simple it is and why you should do it and what the benefits are, we need to understand one thing, okay? When there is a gap between who you are and who you intend to be, when there is a gap between what you really want to say, but what you end up saying, okay? It causes unhappiness. It causes you to feel mentally exhausted. It causes you to feel torn. It causes you to feel regretful. It causes you to feel guilty. You feel like a fraud to yourself because you want to do something a particular way, but you're doing something else. This is who you are, okay? But you're someone else. So all of this creates our own negative pressure over and over the years. And that's why most people are unhappy. Most people are not unhappy because they don't have a car, or they don't have a handbag, or they don't whatever. They're not unhappy because of that. They're unhappy because of the gap between who they are, who they intend to be, what they want to say, what they really say, who they truly want to be, but who they have to be to satisfy society, relationships, partners, and all of that stuff. It is that gap that truly is the cause of most unhappiness today. If there's a gap between you and your boss, you think you're really good, but your boss doesn't see you that way. There's a gap. That gap makes you unhappy. The same thing with your partners and your relationships and all of these things. So it makes you feel guilty. Guilt is a very heavy negative emotion that affects us and makes us sick. It makes you feel like a fraud. How many of us like to feel like a fraud? Like, let me give you a couple of examples. Sometimes I feel like a fraud. I'll tweet, hey guys, have you all worked out? Have you all done this? Have you all done that? And just that day, I've not done any of them. Okay? I feel like a fraud. Okay? And the next day I know I'm getting back on track and stuff like that. But imagine if I go on feeling like a fraud every single day. I'm going to start hating myself. I'm going to start getting depressed and unhappy and all of that stuff, because there's a gap between what I'm telling people and who I really am. So you see, we all go through that. But the problem is, if we start feeling like a fraud every single day And then what we do is we seem like a fraud to even outside people. So all the time, even though people don't even know what's happening in your life, you start perceiving that everyone thinks you're a fraud. That's called negative self-talk. That's called negative self-imagination. Most of our deepest fears are our own illusions and stories. They never come true, and it never really happens in reality. Anyway, all right, so why do we journal? Why should we start journaling? Okay, even if you journal for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do after my morning routine is sit and journal. Because you know what, when you wake up, your subconscious mind is filled with everything that you've thought of before you went to bed at night and when you go to bed. So if you want creativity to flow, journal in the morning before you put on that social media, which is going to numb your creativity and distract you. You want everything coming out. You're able to be your most grateful in the morning before the distractions start and before everything starts, because you're fresh. You've woken up straight. Paper, pen, and just start writing. We're going to teach you how to do that. Okay. Now, it also helps you to build very, very healthy lifestyles, not just related to your physical health, your career, your personal goals, your relationships, your emotions, your feelings, your visions, your dreams. You know, if you think about, you know, everything that you're doing well today, every good habit that you built, every good lifestyle that you built, how did it start? By you doing it the first time. By you doing it the first time and then over and over again. It became a habit and it became a lifestyle. Now, a lot of us, we start working out and then we stop it for about a month, okay? So we've broken it, but you did start it at one point. So the idea is to start something and try to be consistent with it. So I'm not saying you have to journal every single day, but believe me, once you get used to it, you will journal every single day. You will journal in the morning and right before you go to bed as well. Okay, so remember, everything that you're doing well right now, always remember, it's because you did it the first time. And then you just continue doing it over and over again after that. So if you're lifting your body weight today, you could do 5 pull-ups, but today you can do 15 pull-ups. You can do 15 pull-ups because one day you decided to start with that 1 pull-up, which became 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you see, you got to break down everything that's complicated in small little parts and small little goals. They say the sum of the whole is equal to the small parts. You can't have a whole without small parts. So you always start off small. Always start off with small baby steps. Okay, so why do we journal? Okay. We journal mainly because we want creativity to flow. You cannot be creative while you're scrolling down social media. You cannot be creative while you have 100 thoughts going through your head. You can't be creative when you're in the midst of a meeting or you're doing your work and all of that stuff. How much time does that leave us with to be creative? So most of us feel today we're slaves to our jobs. We're slaves to life. We're slaves to, you made yourself that. No one's made you a slave. You don't have to be a slave. You can create freedom on the side through expression, through journaling. If you've not made those outlets, you can't blame your work. You can't blame people around you. You can't blame anyone. That's your choice. No one's made you a slave. That's your choice. You know, so we build our own freedom. The people who sit out there expecting freedom to come to them, for other people to create freedom, for their bosses to create freedom for them, for their partners to create freedom from them, it never works. They always remain caged in their own prisons that they've built in their hearts and in their minds. It is your responsibility to create your freedom, okay? And a lot of people feel stuck in life. Oh, I'm so bored of life. I'm so this, I need Netflix, I need, no, that just means you're a very dull person. You have creativity in you, but you're not allowing it to flow because you're mindlessly consuming content all the time. You're mindlessly consuming social media. So how can your own creative juices flow if you've not provided it the outlet to flow? So journaling is one such outlet. One such outlet. A lot of people use the excuse, oh, I'm on social media, I'm trying to get ideas and stuff. You get ideas 5 hours on social media, okay? You get an idea, you sit back, reflect on it, let your creative juices flow, and you build out of it. If you're on social media to copy other people's ideas and become a puppet and copy everyone, then you would spend a lot of time on social media trying to copy what everyone's doing and build something which is just copied from everyone else. So number one for journaling, creative potential. Everyone has creative potential. Look at a child, give them a blank paper, give them color pens, and look what they create. It may not make sense to you, but can you see their creative potential? Your layers will come up and you judge and say, oh, I don't understand this. And they probably think you're ignorant. To them, they've just put their imagination on paper. Creative potential. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be logical. Creative potential allows us to evolve in life. You know, half the students today stuck with which career to do, all of that stuff. They're very narrow-minded. When I say narrow-minded, they're looking to see what other people are doing. None of them are really sitting back and saying, engineer, doctor, all of that. No, forget. Let me reflect. Let my own creativity tell me what I truly want to do in this life. It is not possible that people don't know what they do. They don't know what they want to do. A lot of people say, hey, Luke, how do I find my life purpose? I'm going through a life, entire life. I don't know. I'm speaking to a Guruji. I'm speaking to this. You find your life purpose by living life, but by keeping an open mind. If you're constantly distracted, comparing yourself with other people, waiting for validation on who you should be, what you should wear, what you should study, which job you should take up, that's not your creativity. That's not your creativity guiding you. And that's why after a while, you're going to become bitter, resentful, not like your job, start bitching about everyone, and just be an unhappy human being. But when your creative potential flows, everything changes in your life. You realize what you truly want to do. So everyone's saying, I don't have a life purpose, I don't know. It's because their mind is too filled with comparison. They don't have time for their own soul to talk to them and tell them what they should be doing. They stop living life to find their life purpose. They think they need to go to the mountains and sit in a cave and all of that stuff. No, you can find your life purpose today amidst chaos, amidst the most busiest city. You can find your life purpose if you're listening and you're allowing your own creative potential to flow. So we journal. We journal because we want our creativity to flow. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Now, when you wake up in the morning and if you put your social media on straight or your phone, you are already numbing your potential. That's why start with journaling first. And then after you do that, you put on your social media. The moment you start, you are distracted. Social media is designed to numb. It's designed to numb our creativity. Please know that. Okay, you're not a creative person if you're spending a lot of time on social media. You're great at talking about stuff you do, preaching about stuff you do, but creating? Absolutely not. You don't have a mind of your own. Your mind is being controlled like a puppet by everything that you see on social media. I don't have a problem with social media. I have a problem with people spending too much of it and making their lives revolve around that. You have to connect within. Everything is within you. Okay? When I look at my most successful clients, whether they're billionaires, whether they're actors and actresses, whether they're normal people, and all of that stuff, all of them journal. And I asked them, why do you journal? They said, Luke, thinking is power. Imagination is power. And I can sit here and imagine, and the next minute I get a phone call and that thought is gone. So I like to sit, imagine, write everything down. When you connect with writing, okay, it also leads you to the second benefit of journaling, which is manifestation. Like I said earlier, most of the things I manifested in life, I've written about it and I've forgotten about it. I've written because when you write in a journal, you write from your heart. You don't write from someone else's life. That's the beauty of journaling. You can be your authentic self. You can drop the facades. You can drop all the face masks that you wear in society. And you and that paper, you'll have an intimate relationship. You write what you want, what you want. You put all of that down. That's your truth. That's your authentic self. And because that is aligned with your true desires, maybe you can't go out in society today and say, my true desire is to be a billionaire and stay in the fanciest hotels and have a private jet, because people are going to say, oh, you're commercial, you're shallow, all of that stuff. But what if that is your truest desire? Write it down. People are living that life. They manifested it. Like I said, the most successful people I know write and journal every single day. Every single day. So another one, manifestation. Another reason why journaling is important, and I do this because accountability is such a powerful word. Most people in life fail because they're not accountable. They're not accountable. Tomorrow, if I have to say, take 10 people who cannot lose weight, who are indisciplined, who struggle, they do everything, and yet they constantly complain, Luke, I can't lose weight. And I tell them, go on social media, okay, and tell people on social media, in 3 months, you're going to see a new body. I'm losing 5 kilos, 8 kilos. I'm going to tone up. I'm going to be more athletic. What you've done now is you become accountable to the world, to everyone on social media who follows you. Guess what? You're going to achieve that goal because you're accountable. Accountability is such a powerful word. When we are not accountable, okay, all of us fall off the bandwagon because we're not accountable. Journaling is beautiful. It teaches you to be accountable. So if I tell you, everyone knows today how important a gratitude practice is, but let's be honest, how many people do it, even though they agree it is so important? Because they're not accountable to anyone if they don't do it, right? But when you're accountable to your journal, and the last thing you do every night is write down 3 or 5 things that you're grateful for, guess what? You're accountable to that journal, and you write it, and it changes you, and you feel better, and your life changes, and you get every single benefit of being grateful. So whatever you're journaling, if you journal, let me give you an example. About 9 or 10 years ago, when I started my consultation practice, all my clients, most of my clients, 99% of my clients were in the US. Okay, we didn't have FaceTime, all of this stuff. I remember a BlackBerry, but we had to afford our own connections for Wi-Fi and all of that stuff. It was expensive back then. So how would I keep in touch with my clients? On email. Every single day, my clients email me their breakfast, their lunch, and their dinner. And today we have WhatsApp. We're connected with people like, every single day on WhatsApp, on phone, on FaceTime. But yet, the success we had with people who would journal and write down their food logs was way more than all the support they can get today, because they were accountable. They knew that the only way of working with Luke was through email. So they had to send me every single thing, and I could look at their plans and tell them where they had gone wrong. And we had the most success with people learning to journal their food, their emotions, when they have cravings for food, what they ate, link it with an emotion. They became accountable to that email and that email to me. And that's how it built a beautiful system of accountability. So journaling teaches you to be accountable to yourself and to your journal. When you journal, you can celebrate little victories. So let's say I wrote last week that I want like 10 things to happen. And this week, 5 of them have happened. But because I'm accountable, I'm living in the now, in the present moment. Every time I journal, I write it and I remember, I can feel grateful and I can celebrate small victories. Sometimes we get so many victories in life, so much is coming in. We don't celebrate it because there's more and more happening. We're so busy. But journaling will teach you to celebrate and be grateful for small victories as well. If you journal in the night, which you should as well, 5 minutes at the max, it prepares you to sleep. You can't sleep if your mind is constantly thinking of things all the time. You cannot sleep. Maybe you sleep, but a very, very disturbed sleep. But imagine if I'm emptying out everything from my mind into my journal before I go to bed. I've literally emptied everything out. Imagine I go to bed and suddenly I wake up 3 in the morning. Oh, I forgot something. I need to do something tomorrow. I need to do something. You can't sleep that way. But if I prepare my to-do list for tomorrow, I journal about my day, I've come to closure. I've closed today. I've exited this day gracefully. There's no non-closure with my day. That's a beautiful habit. It prepares you to sleep. You go to sleep with a lot of depth. And imagine if I'm doing writing down my desires before I sleep. That's the best time, because the moment you fall asleep, your subconscious mind connects with the last thoughts that you have before you sleep. So if you have angry thoughts, it's getting into your subconscious mind. You have happy thoughts, or you visualize. That's why I encourage people to do their visualization right before they fall asleep, because your subconscious mind will pick that up. The best time to fill anything that you want in your life in your subconscious mind is between the period of you're just falling asleep and you've almost fallen asleep. That gap is when everything can go into your subconscious mind very, very easily. So journaling makes that very, very powerful. You can empty your mind. You can empty your heart. Most of our depression patients today swear that, Luke, we've been unable to talk to people about our emotions. Then we tell them, go and write it down. They say the moment we write it down, we feel like we're not even depressed anymore. So I tell them, then you've got to keep writing until you empty all of these emotions, because on that paper, you can literally express your deepest, darkest desires, your secrets, your flaws, which you cannot do with even your closest partner or whatever it is. If you can, you're blessed. If not, then you literally have an intimate relationship with your journal. Literally, you make love to your journal, every little thing, because there's no one to judge you. And you are literally emptying all those emotions from your heart, your mind, everything onto that journal, onto that piece of it. So it makes expression of emotions very, very easily. One reason why most people are emotionally unhappy today and emotionally sick is because they don't have the platform or the ability to express emotions. Okay? No matter what you're going through in life, if someone can listen to you without judging you compassionately and you're able to express yourself, you will feel better. There's no doubt about that. It happens with the worst case possible. The worst case. Most people today just need compassionate listening. Most people need a platform where they can express themselves. The human soul wants to be its authentic self. We find struggles in life when we try to be something that we're not. It's a struggle. It doesn't come easy. It's a huge, huge struggle. I have young girls today, not just young girls. I have mature women who are depressed when they remove their makeup, because they've become so used to only when they have their makeup on. They've fallen in love with the wrong person. They've fallen in love with themselves only when they have makeup. So imagine, you're not going to have makeup 24/7. What happens when you remove the makeup? You hate yourself. You hate yourself. The intention should be, have makeup. I don't have a problem with that. But you love the real you. You don't love the you which has makeup. So you see, when you journal, you can be your true self. And when you do this, everything around you starts changing. You change. You start letting go of things that don't serve you anymore. You stop living a life of hypocrisy where you're just trying to be someone else, because you realize you're lying to yourself. Remember, you're accountable to your journal. You realize every time you write, this is my true self. Who am I? Who am I when, I'm not writing? And like I said, that feeling of you being a fraud is a very depressing feeling. No one likes to feel that. We get through it for some time. After a while, it's huge negative stress on the body. Huge negative stress. But you can break it with journaling. Imagine if you're angry. This is the best exercise. Okay? We would all like to express it, shout out all of that, but unfortunately, it never works because we end up hurting people. We hurt ourselves. We break relationships. Another way is, besides workout, a punching bag, really kicking a punching bag, or push-ups, or throwing yourself into a workout safely, don't get injured, write. Just take a pen and paper. Don't even think what you want to write. Start with what comes. You may use foul language, anything. But that anger, once you write everything down, and you will go on writing. I know people who have filled up pages, like 40, 50 pages in less than 30 minutes expressing their anger. Can you imagine how much of emotion was in them for it to come out on paper? And imagine them living every single day with all of that, growing more and more. And that's why some people suddenly lose it, explode, and they do something really, really bad. Or they say really, really hurtful things. You don't want to be that person to wait till then. So you can use journaling even for your emotions, for your anger. Another beautiful thing is, if you're feeling in love, if you're feeling happy, something great's happening, write about that as well. Because when you write about that, remember, that becomes manifestation already. You're writing about a thought, but you're also feeling it. You're also feeling it. That is when you manifest it. So don't write about your bad times only. Also write about what's happened. Today you had a great day. Today I had a beautiful day. So-and-so said something to me and it made me feel so good. I didn't realize that kind words make me feel so good. This feeling is a new feeling to me. I've never had this feeling before. So now you know something new about yourself. So automatically you start changing your behaviors and experiences to get more of those feelings. So journaling is like a self-study. It helps you change you for better or for worse. So you can write about your good things as well. Journaling empowers you. The days I journal really, really well, I finish journaling and I feel empowered to take on the day, to do this, to do that. So if I'm writing about a negative incident I may have had with a client, or maybe a client that died or whatever, but while I'm journaling, I'm also writing about all my clients who are doing well, who are in remission. And all of a sudden I feel more empowered because I have clarity. So journaling brings clarity in your life, clarity about your emotions. Most of the men and women who keep saying they're emotionally, down and all of that stuff. And when you really sit them down to talk, they don't even know what part of the emotion is hurting them so much. It's just superficial. I'm angry. I'm jealous. I'm hurt. Ask them, break it down further. They get stuck after 2 to 3 minutes. But when you journal, you break that down into a consequence, because that really means more than you being hurt, it's just your ego and your pride being hurt. Because for you to feel real heartbreak, okay, you'll be able to talk about it way more deeply. So when you write and connect with all of these things, it brings you clarity of mind and your heart, the pain that you're going through, the betrayal. It makes forgiveness easier so much because you write about that person. When I tell someone, oh, you can't forgive this person, okay, write down and share with me what you can't forgive. They'll come back with 2 or 3 lines. 2 or 3 lines. That's it. I say, that's it? Say, break it down further. Then ask them to write questions and they'll fill up maybe 2 or 3 or 4 pages. So you see, when you journal, you can really break down a problem that may be very superficial. It's real to you, not taking away from your pain. But if there's a problem you're trying to solve in your life, don't you think you should know the depth of it and the root cause and everything else? To honestly solve it at a root cause level? So it's very, very important to understand. When you journal, you're also writing. So you're writing repeatedly. It becomes like an affirmation. Today, most people, I tell them, practice a simple affirmation. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Do it 20 times. Most people, oh, look, I did it 6. I did 8, 9. I mean, you're paying me so much of money to tell you to affirm in the first place, and you can't even do it 20 times. Okay, write it down. And they write it down 20 times. Why can't they do it 6 to 7 times? Why do they only do it 6 to 7 times? Because the mind starts working, new thoughts, all of that stuff, distraction, it becomes a task. But when you write it down, like in school, remember our teachers would make us write things 100 times? That's a beautiful way of learning. We learn, the human brain learns best with repetition. So whenever every day you're writing the things you're grateful for, every day you're writing the things that you desire for, how you want your life to be, repetition, you are creating a very powerful impression in your subconscious mind. So it helps you with that as well. And like I said, practice in the mind versus practice on paper. It is way more powerful to practice on paper. Okay, because in the mind there are distracting thoughts. When you're practicing on paper, you can pause. If you're getting distracted, you can pause. Think about the thought, go back to writing. So always practice on paper. When it comes to forgiveness, I teach a lot of people, fine, don't forgive the person. Write a letter to that person. Let's say person A, okay? I need to forgive person A. Now I will write in my journal, dear person A, you are a XYZ, whatever I want to say and stuff like that, because you did this and because I feel like this and because you let me down. I'm literally writing a letter to them. In a way, I'm expressing to them, although it's not the real them, because you've not put yourself out or you've not yet got the courage to go up to person A and say, hey, person A, please sit down. I want to talk to you. What you said has hurt me so much and this, all of that stuff, because you're going to lose it, you're hurt, you're whatever. Write a letter to them and then write it again and again. All of that stuff. It is so unbelievable how it works to create a new neural circuit in your subconscious mind. So you can write letters to the people that you cannot say the things that you want to. Sometimes there are relationships. You want to say something to your dad or your mom, but you don't want to do it. They're old, they're whatever. Write a letter to them. You don't have to give it to them. But by writing a letter, what you truly express, because you've decided to be compassionate and not express what you want to say to them because they may get hurt. You can write a letter to them. It is such an uplifting experience. You feel like a weight has been lifted off your chest. So that's another reason to journal. Affirmations. You can journal affirmations like crazy. Affirmations every day, write them repeatedly. Then after that, it becomes autopilot and you no longer have to do that. Now, the beauty is when you journal, you can listen to music, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, whatever it is. Write in nature, write on your patio, on your balcony. Make it an experience that you look forward to. Some people like to have a nice covered journal, one with a lock and key, a special pen, scented paper, whatever it is. Okay, make it an experience. We relate to experiences. Like you go into a hotel, every hotel looks the same. One hotel puts like a chocolate on your pillowcase at night. You like that. The chocolate may be any chocolate, but you like the experience. You relate to experiences. Human beings relate to experiences. So it's important for us to understand, create that experience for yourself. So you wake up knowing that I have my own special spot. I'll take out my special pen, my book, and I'll sit down and I will journal. So we journal. What's in it for us? We journal because we want to become the person. You want to become the person you want to be. Period. I journal because I want to become the person I want to be. For that, I cannot rely on just my mind, which is filled with thoughts every day. I need a structure. I need to journal because I want to be a better person. I want to be this person. I journal. You design your life. If you're not journaling, someone else is designing your life every single day, unconsciously or consciously, through social media. Today, Luke's life is getting designed. Oh, he's spending time on this page. This page, oh my God, it's made him feel bad. Oh no, someone's designed my life today. Okay, someone's designing my life. You want to be the designer of your own life. You can design it while you journal every day, because the more you write about yourself, what you want, who you want to be, your feelings, your emotions, love, happiness, sadness, all your breakups that you've gone through, do that. I once made a client journal on every single breakup in detail. You know what? The client came back and told me, I expected him to come saying, okay, it's off my chest, everything's good. He even said, Luke, through every breakup, I've also learned new things about myself. I learned new things about myself when I journaled and wrote about those breakups. You see, in life, we always think it's someone else's mistake. Maybe, maybe not. But we never look at what we can learn from that. And learn, when we look to really learn, find out if we also made a mistake in that. Never ever forget in life, it takes two hands to clap. Today, if you're in an unhappy relationship, no matter how much you think it's your partner, you've also had a role to play in that, period. As simple as that. If you've not got the position that you've been looking for, you have a role to play in that as well. You can say politics, biasness, all of that stuff, but you have a role to play in that. We should never ever forget that. So when we journal, we get to know what that role is. We get to know what that role is. Very, very simple. So we journal for better relationships. Okay, you can't design your relationship while you're sitting and talking to your partner. Okay, you can talk about it, you can build ideas, but finally what you truly want your relationship to be, you design it when you journal. Because you right now, you don't even know so many things about yourself. You don't even know until you start journaling. You get to know so many things about yourself. So many things about yourself. And we journal to become more productive and more powerful. When we write down, I started making people write a to-do list every day. It has changed their life completely. I've started making people make timetables. Make your timetable for tomorrow. At what time will you do what, and what are you going to achieve? Their lives have changed completely. I know we're going back to old school, but if old school worked, we continue doing it that way. Today, everyone has organizers on their phones, notes and reminders. They fill it up, yet they don't do it. They don't do it yet. No accountability. Absolutely no accountability, but we had that accountability of taking out a to-do pad and ticking off, done, 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 done. At the end of the day, reflection. Oh, I did 9 out of 10. Good job. Reflection. I did 2 out of 10. Bad. Where did I go wrong? So you see, it's a process to help you feel more powerful and more productive. Now, how do we journal? Okay, it's not rocket science. Don't complicate yourself with everything you read on the net. It's very simple. You can have a piece of pen and paper to start off with. You don't need a fancy book at all. At all. If you want to, you can. If you're journaling for the first time, start off with I want. That's it. I want, write. And then just start writing. Let your mind flow. Say, I want $1 billion. I want to feel happy. I want a girl. I want a guy. I want my baby to get healthy. Just flow. Don't stop to think. That is your creative potential coming out. That's your truth. Those are your true desires. Most people's desires today are based on what other people want, not what they want. But when you journal, you'll have a completely different list. So it's as simple as starting off with I want. And when you're done, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay? That's how you end it. That's the simplest way of starting to journal. Okay? Now, if you want to connect on a more intimate way, your next day journaling can start with something as simple. Let's say you're not feeling good right now, or you're feeling really happy. Your journaling can start with I feel. That's it. I feel. And then just empty it all out. I feel sad because he said this. He means a lot to me, and this is it. Let your heart just pour it out. So you can do an I feel. Okay? Let's say you're doing a gratitude journal. So when I journal, I do everything. I put my desires, I put my wants, I put my gratitude, because I really don't have the time to have one journal for gratitude, one journal. If I find my journal, I'll show you how simple it is. So this is my journal, a simple Luxor book, whatever, like that. And that's it. I just journal whatever I want every single day, all of that stuff, whatever it is. That's it. It can be as simple as that. You can make it fancy, your job, okay? So your gratitude journal will start off as simply with thank you for, and just list down all the things you're thankful for. Or you can start it with I am grateful for, and everything that you have. So try to make your journals have everything that you feel. One day you may just not want to journal, and you may just want to draw pictures and whatever. That's fine. You're connecting with yourself. I think one of the most powerful tools to get out of depression, I'm not saying it's the only tool, and to break everything that you've been struggling with in life emotionally, is to start writing it. Another beautiful benefit of journaling is it unfolds the author in you. Most people think that, you need to be a writer to write. When you start journaling, you suddenly realize that you have a beautiful way of writing. Because you're expressing, you're talking from your heart. When you write from your heart, you're writing your own story, your own true story. It's beautiful. And then you begin to get more addicted to writing and stuff. When you're writing, you create history. What I have in this book is history for the last 3 to 4 weeks. I would love to read this 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, or whatever it is. So you're creating a lot of history by writing it down as well. This is the power of journaling. It could be 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Today, I know people who journal for half an hour to an hour. I know people who, in the process of journaling, have become authors. They've written books. Literally, you learn so many things out of that. So whether you're a student, whoever you are, start getting into the process of journaling. It can be anything. It could be gratitude, happiness, emotions, feelings. There was a point where I had a journal only for dreams. I just put all my dreams and created this story and this life that I thought would be the most amazing life ever. I'm living that life today. I'm living it. Whatever I wrote, I am actually living that life. And once you write these things, that's it. Leave it. Don't even go back and read it. Just write it. Because every day as you're writing, you're building new neural circuits. So what you're going to write is going to have a similarity to what you've written over the last couple of days. And after a while, as you read through, what you're going to write tomorrow as well. But write from your heart. You can overcome anger with this, unforgiveness, a lot of issues with this. Just write. It's a beautiful power. It's a beautiful power because, like I said, if you have that person where you can truly express your heart and every single emotion, great for you. If you don't, try writing. That is the power of journaling. Now, when it comes to your health, if you are struggling, maintain a food journal. Write down what you eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, every single thing. Write it down for a week. Guess what? At the end of the week, you suddenly realize, wow, I've lost weight. I'm feeling so good. I'm energetic. I'm glowing. You can go back and read, oh, wow, these are the foods I ate. Oh, there's a pastry there. There's a packet of chips over there. But in spite of doing all that, I've lost weight and I'm feeling so good. What do you learn from that? I can continue eating that way and get results. Now imagine I go through a week journaling my food, and on Sunday, I'm feeling heavy and lethargic and gassy and I put on weight. I go back and I read and I say, I've overdone it on sugar this week. I've drunk less water this week. I've eaten at different timings this week. It is self-learning. It is so powerful. So when you know you need to write your food log down every single day, who are you being accountable to? Yourself and your journal. And you will overcome any goal that you want in life when you become accountable. When you become accountable first to yourself and then to someone else. That's why today accountability coaches are huge, where you just be accountable to me. That's it. I'll make sure you do it. You just need to be accountable to me. I'm accountable to Luke. That's it. You get it done. If you're not accountable to me, it's not going to work. A simple example. I've done thousands of videos out there, thousands and thousands of videos out there. A lot of people have taken it, solved even the most complicated issues that they have. A lot of people watch the videos. They don't do anything about it, but they're okay to pay me money to put them under my wings. What are they looking for? Accountability. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make them lazy people, but they know that now I'm accountable, I will do it. But when you're not accountable and if you're not self-motivated, all the information in the world cannot help you. So accountability is powerful. So I would really, truly, if you want to make the last 37 minutes of your life that you've just given me and I've given you productive and useful, promise me that you're even going to just try to journal. Okay, do it once a day, do it once every 2 days. It is the most beautiful feeling ever. You will start to evolve. You will start to change. People around you, I can guarantee you, do this for about 2 to 3 weeks. People are going to notice a change in you, a complete change in you, because you're living your authentic self. So try it out, give it a shot, get a notepad, pen, whatever, find your creative spot, whatever it is, start journaling. No one else has to read it. Remember that, no one else has to read it. In fact, the angry part of the journal, I usually prefer to tear that page out and throw it away. So it's like a physical thing that I've emptied my anger and now I'm just throwing it away. I don't want to keep it and read it again. Okay, so you can do that. The rest of it you can really, really keep. Sometimes when you're sitting down with your gratitude journal at night, you may just feel like, I'm writing the same thing every day. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for this. And you must feel, don't try hard. That's okay. That's your true self speaking to you, right? That's your true self speaking to you. Sometimes it may remind you, am I being ungrateful? Let me try harder. Let me reflect on my day. Hey, there is this thing that I am grateful for. So this process of journaling also makes you reflect. Reflection is from where we learn. We only learn through our reflections in life. And when we learn through our reflections, we live a life with more experience, with more wisdom. That's how it works. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great evening. Thank you for your time.